Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We're getting there. Slowly, but we're getting there. So hit subscribe, watch, comment. I want your comments because I respond back, and share with your friends because the insanity that is going on, it's just not going to stop. I mean, take a look at yesterday, for example. Fox News. What do we expect, right? Fox News. They aired more from Trump's interview with Bret Baier. And this one somehow seemed even more unhinged than the first part. I want to start with a clip of Trump literally shitting on JD Vance, just dissing him completely. Play the clip.
Do you view Vice President JD Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
It's definitely been the fastest and the most stuff happening.
We've done so much so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this is the greatest 3 weeks in the history of American politics. Question becomes, who are those people? Elon Musk? Don Jr.? Maybe MAGA Mike Johnson? How about Ted Cruz? Right? It's selective in terms of what he's saying, but I think it's important that you hear what he's saying here. When they start talking about potential for JD Vance to be the next president of the United States, to receive President Trump's endorsement in just about 2 years from now, once the midterms come about, he's not sure whether that's the guy that he wants. In fact, you don't really see much of JD Vance these days, do you? No. You know who you're seeing a lot of? Somebody who can't run for the presidency either, Elon Musk, who's not born in America. Now, during the campaign, Trump talked, and he talked a lot, about how there would be no wars under his administration. Now, we also know he wants to annex Canada, he wants to annex Mexico, wants to take back the Panama Canal, to acquire Greenland, and now, of course, to own Gaza. Sounds like some possibilities for war under this administration. But he also turned around and said that all hell will break loose if the hostages in Gaza are not returned. Sounds like another potential war. Play the clip.
As far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off, and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock.
Right. First, let me just say, of all the times to turn around and to say it, Saturday may not have been the best time. How about just say Sunday, or say Friday at noon before Shabbos, right? The holy day for the Jewish people. Now, every rabbi in the world would tell you that to return the hostages, no problem. There's no issue with it on the Sabbath because of the extreme nature of what's going on. But you could pick any day of the week. Why would you do it on the holy day? It just doesn't make sense, considering in the country there are people who will not participate in this joyous occasion of the return of the hostages. Now, another thing he didn't say is who's going to be breaking out all hell if in fact that they don't. What happens come Saturday if in fact the hostages, all of them, are not returned? Is Trump then going to call on the military? So you're going to call on SEAL Team 6, Delta Force, the Marines, whoever? We don't know. Because when he speaks, he doesn't speak in full sentences. He's not telling you, not even a portion of what he's actually thinking. Trump then goes on and he speaks about Ukraine. Now remember, according to Trump, that war was going to be over in 24 hours from the moment that he takes office. Well, we're 3+ weeks in, and the war rages on. He even went so far as to say that Ukraine may one day be Russian. Play the clip.
I want to have our money secured because we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars. And, you know, they may make a deal, they may not make a deal, they may be Russian someday, or they may not be Russian someday, but we're going to have all this money in there. And I say, I want it back. And I told them that I want the equivalent, like $500 billion worth of rare earth. And they've essentially agreed to do that. So at least we don't feel stupid. Otherwise, we're stupid. I said to them, we have to get something. We can't continue to pay this money. You know.
Again, we need $500 billion worth of rare earth. Is he saying that we're now going to take parts of Ukraine as well? Somebody like Bret Baier, who's sitting there like a fucking fool, right? Like a mannequin, bobbing his head up and down, right? Like those things that you put on your car, right? Like the puppy dog that goes up and down with the head. Just acknowledging. Why not ask the question, Mr. President, are you saying that Ukraine has agreed to give the United States some of its territory? What $500 billion are you referring to? Can you expand upon that absolutely ridiculous, nonsensical comment? Then Trump speaks about, once again, the 2020 election being rigged. I want you to think for a quick second about how petty that this conversation has really devolved into. When Trump, who defied all odds, let's give the guy credit where credit is due, won in 2016, despite what everybody thought, and then lost in 2020, but somehow managed to do something that was only done once before in U.S. history, 2 non-consecutive terms. So who the fuck cares about the 2020 election being rigged in his opinion, when despite every single person looking at it made a determination that it's just not true? Move on and play the clip.
Putin, do you squeeze him to get him to the table? I mean, how do you...
It would have, look, I say it all the time, this would have never happened if I were president. If the election weren't rigged, this would have never happened. And let's see whether or not Fox lets you put that in, okay? If the election weren't rigged, do you hear me, rigged? Let's see, I mean, this would have never happened. It wouldn't happen with Putin, and October 7th would have never happened either.
Right. Because right now we're 3+ weeks, and his power is so immense that Vladimir Putin cowered. He is now hiding under the table in the palace, in the Doma, right? Where he's under the table, fearful that Trump is going to do something against him. And that's why Russia is pulling out of Ukraine as we speak. It's why Hamas has already turned over all of the hostages, which of course was started by the Biden administration. I'm not sure what he's talking about. And again, Bret has an obligation as a fucking journalist. He has an obligation to turn around and to ask a follow-up question that doesn't throw a softball to the president. So Bret goes on and he asks Trump if he's actually spoken with President Xi. Play that clip.
I happen to like him a lot, President Xi. Yes. I love talking to him.
Since the inauguration?
Yeah, and I've talked to him. And I talk to his people, too. His people come in all the time. We have a very good personal relationship. You know, I don't want to sound foolish because...
Well, you had him here, Mar-a-Lago.
I had him here. I know him very well. I know him probably better than just about anybody in various parts of the world. I know Kim Jong-un from North Korea better than anybody. Most people never even will ever get to talk to him.
I was on that trip. I know. I remember it well.
You can attest to it.
Yay. Trump then spoke about how much he loves Canada. Play that clip.
Canada, you're a different country, and I love Canada. I have so many friends in Canada, you can't count them. Wayne Gretzky, I love Wayne Gretzky. I love so many people. I love their tradition. I love their ice hockey. But why are we paying $200 billion a year, essentially in subsidy to Canada? Now, if they're a 51st state, I don't mind doing it. The Canadian citizens would have a much lower tax rate. They'd have much better medical, and they'd have military protection like nobody can have. You know.
Again, this interview, it's just like one big gigantic puff piece. No pushback by Bret. Trump also goes on to talk about that there are guardrails on Elon. As we all know, Elon Musk with Doge and whatever else that he's doing, he seems to be the new Jared Kushner, the secretary of everything. People are saying that this guy is running amok. Well, that doesn't sit well with Donald. He's the only one that's allowed to do that. And Trump wants Elon to hear it, which is why he said it, that there are guardrails on him. Play the clip.
Go during my term.
You say you trust Elon. I mean, you can't imagine a scenario where you would have to rail him in or set up guardrails for him.
Well, I think I have guardrails. Yeah, Elon is somebody that I have a lot of respect for, but you have to have guardrails. He reports to me, and he's doing a fantastic job. I wanted somebody who's extremely intelligent. He's that. He's also a good cost cutter. You can't send an average person into that quagmire. It's a very dangerous quagmire. I watched some of these horrible people like Maxine Waters, real sleaze, and I watched her screaming at the security guard or whoever he was. Actually, he was pretty cool.
At the Department of Education.
He was pretty cool standing in front of the Department of Education. She's only looking for trouble. She's not looking to help people learn. Look.
No. Again, I have nothing on that. Trump then goes on and he brags about how he is the great weaver. Remember the weave? How he can go from one thing then to another where none of it makes any sense, but at the very end, it's like poetry. Play the clip.
$50 billion, but they have other problems. And, you know, let's go back over there, because I'm the weaver. I'm the great weaver. You know that,
Trust
right?
me.
Okay? I'm the great weaver.
I get it.
Somebody said, oh, he rambled. No. Only the fake news says that. To weave, you have to be brilliant. To ramble, you don't have to be brilliant.
I'll just get back in the weave there. But I
like the weave because it covers a lot of territory and it covers it much more quickly. But if you look at October 7th.
Oh, Bret. Oh, what a great interview. And finally, the last clip I want to show you is Bret trying to ask Trump about unity in the United States, unifying the country, which right now is so terribly divided. Play the clip.
They really do. You won the popular vote. You won all the swing states. But still, Kamala Harris got 75 million votes in the country.
Well, if you believe the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Let's just say
it is ridiculous.
That the election was as it was.
Excuse me. There are 7 swing states. I won them all.
You did
by a lot.
But let me just get to the dismount here.
And I won the popular.
Have you thought about how to try to bring the country together, to reach out or to find common ground? Have you thought about that? Or
the answer is no, he has not. But notice how Bret starts it again with the flattery. It's all about playing to one man's ego. And that's okay. Honest to God, I don't care. Play to his ego. It doesn't matter. So long as that the policies that he's talking about benefit all Americans. As Bret asked, unify the country. That's what the president's supposed to be about. The great unifier. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.